Joshua Hopkins, our guest. He's a Canadian. He was born in Ontario. Always lived in Ontario?
Well, until I went to university
Until now.
at McGill.
Where are you living now?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Houston's a big opera town.
It is.
An oil town, and an opera town too.
Yeah, which means there's good money for opera support.
Exactly. So why did you pick Houston? Or did it pick you?
Well, in a way, it picked me. After I finished my master's degree at McGill in '03, I wanted to go into a young artist program with a major opera company, and so I did a number of auditions, and Houston was the best fit. And so at that time, I had just been recently married to my wife Zoe, and we moved down to Houston.
How great. Zoe's not a Texan.
No, she's from Toronto.
But that's a bit of a culture shock if you've never spent a lot of time in Texas.
Oh, yes.
I was conceived in Texas, so I don't remember much.
But it was probably hot.
It probably was, yeah, during that war, you know. So this disc of yours, this new CD, tell me about it.
Well, Let Beauty Wake is its title, and it's one of the songs of Rafe Vaughan Williams' Songs of Travel set, which is a beautiful set of a collection of songs for baritone and piano. The CD is an art song CD that features songs for baritone and piano. There's a Barber set on there, as well as Paul Bowles, another American composer, and Sroll Irving Glick, a Canadian composer.
Really?
And yeah, that set is called North of South, Images of Canada, which, to my knowledge, has never been recorded before.
I don't think so. Well, there was Katie Lang, and she did a few about the parallel or something. But yeah, Let Beauty Awake. Why did you pick, because CD titles are always, somebody always has an idea about what you should call the CD. So why that?
Well, I was taken particularly because Let Beauty Awake is one of my favorite songs in the Songs of Travel set.
And the words are like?
Let Beauty Awake. I mean, it starts with Let Beauty Awake.
I know if you're not singing, you can't remember. Isn't it funny?
Let beauty awake in the morn from the beauty of dreams, beauty awake from rest. That's sort of how it begins. And it's just a gorgeous poem
song.
and a very gorgeous song. Yeah.
So take me to Carnegie Hall.
Sure.
How did you get there? It's
Well,
a long road for many.
Sure. Well, I mean, there's that old joke about how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, 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 right?
Exactly.
Which I did, and I continue to do. Yeah, I've done a number of projects at Carnegie with various organizations. The one that I had the most fun with was a solo recital in the Weil Hall, which is their small recital hall.
Yes.
Which was the same time that I came here to do a recital with the Vancouver Recital Society. So it was a bit of a tour with a recital.
A big tour. I mean,
sure.
As you say, many performers dream of singing it. I think they still dream. I think they still dream of singing at Carnegie Hall.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Really?
It's a milestone. Yeah.
And how is it different?
How is it different?
History.
Well, I mean, right. Well, I mean, just to know the types of performers that have graced the stage at Carnegie. And to be included in that roster, in that large roster of such important
When I was a little girl, I wanted to be a rockette.
Really?
I did. A Radio City Music Hall rockette.
Sure.
I know. We all have dreams.
Absolutely.
Didn't happen. But New York, the Met?
Yeah, well, I made my debut in 2009 in Turandot as Ping, one of the...
That's a tough opera, isn't it? A difficult opera to do, Turandot?
Well, I mean, it's very grand, and the set that the Met has is the Zeffirelli production. So it's,
right.
I mean, at the Met they do grand well, and
it's one of the big kahunas for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. And so I was lucky enough to be a part of that production, which they also put into the movie theaters on the Met Live in HD series. So not only did I get to be on the Met stage, which was absolutely breathtaking, exciting, but I got to be in the movie theaters around the world as well, which was thrilling.
Who taught you to act? Because great opera stars sing and act, as you know.
Absolutely. I can't say that it was anyone in particular, but my parents were both involved in community theater growing up. And so I kind of lived backstage for a long time throughout my
Really?
throughout my throughout my youth and throughout my teenage years.
So it bit you early, this bug.
Absolutely. I mean, what was great about that was that I got to observe so much on stage time when I was doing backstage things such as lighting or assistant stage managing, things like that. And then when I finally got out on stage, I was able to take all of the things that I had observed and put them into use.
Well, and a very smart career move for you because, as you know, our great stage actors in Canada make piddle, really. I mean, considering their talent, immense talent, but you really become an actor in Canada for the love of it.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Absolutely.
I mean, sometimes you go to the Hollywood.
Right.
But very often, if you're a stage actor in this country and you're at Shaw or Stratford or any of that, you make a living and do something you love, but you don't get rich.
Well, I wouldn't say you necessarily get rich as an opera singer either, but I mean, that's what fuels my passion for it is the beautiful music. I mean, the timeless music, and such in Barber of Seville, the opportunity to play Figaro, who is such a fun-loving and full of life character, is such a reward.
Where did Figaro? Where did that come from?
Well, it was just in Rossini's head. I think he just had these tunes jumbling around in his head, and it was said that Rossini composed this opera in a very short amount of time, and we know for sure that it was less than a month that he composed this piece, and it's got so many memorable tunes. And Figaro's big aria when he first comes out, Largo al Factotum, which we identify with those Bugs Bunny commercials now as a 21st century audience.
How does that go? You don't have to like belt it out.
Oh yeah, sure. Largo factotum della tita, largo, da 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 da, la, just like that.
What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc? Sure.
How great! How great! So after this, what? After the Barber finishes, your manager says you will be going where? Do you have an agent? I'm assuming.
Absolutely. I have one in New York as well as in London who handles my European engagements. I'm off to Kansas City next. They have a new performing arts center, a new opera house there.
Where to Kansas City, Kansas, Missouri?
Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah.
You're into the southern Midwestern. Sure you are.
Yeah. We're doing a Barber of Seville there too. So
are you?
As soon as I finish the Barber here, I go to a Barber there. Figaro là, Figaro quoi.
Okay, Figaro la quoi, but would it be the modern version or the traditional version?
I believe it's going to be a more traditional production, judging by the photos that they have on their website.
Okay.
So
once you know a role, which you know, this role, how long does it take you to figure it out again?
It depends how long it's been since I've done it the last time. So for Kansas City, because we begin rehearsals a week after I finish the performances here, it's going to be no problem because it'll just be in my head. And the interesting thing about Rossini is that there can be cuts made all over the score. So the version that we do in Kansas City might be slightly different than the version that we do here. So that will be the only difference that I sort of have to wrap my head around.
And as you know, people who don't go to a lot of opera can understand Seville, can't they?
Sure.
The Barber of Seville, it's not that complicated. Some are a little complicated.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of slapstick on stage, and if they want to know what we're singing in Italian, all they have to do is look up to see the super titles translated for
Yeah,
them.
those are good.
Sure.
Or my mother used to say, read the libretto, and don't hold your program upside down or try to look like you know what's going on.
Well, I think a great way for people to come to the opera and be immersed in the music even more is to have a listen to it before they go and to read through the libretto. I think that's a great way.
Exactly, and that Opera for Dummies book, I'll tell you, just gives you the basics. Here's what's really going to happen, and then you go, oh, I get it.
Yeah, because the plot never changes.
No. How's the dog?
Oh, he's great.
You have a poodle? Standard poodle.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Tigger.
Oh, I thought it'd be like Turandot or something.
Operatic.
Tigger. Okay.
No, we named him.
Too much opera. How nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Joshua Hopkins, baritone, The Barber of Seville, starts Saturday, March 17th and goes through Sunday, March 25th. Matinee, 1:30. Queenie Theatre and Vancouver Opera, of course.